What's up guys, DuArktik with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we are back to another Green Goblin Classic Trial, the second run that we have for Green Goblin, and we are going to take a look at what you need to do in order to get the maximum amount of points necessary to complete all the milestones. If you have your Green Goblin already at 70 all-stars, this is going to require 1.5 million points. If it's not the case, you are going to require only 1,350,000, but we're gonna take a look at both of the situations because there's not much difference in between them, as we just have to activate some additional packs, and those packs do not increase a lot of the difficulty. So the packs that we are going to be using is Experimental Serum 3, New Generation, Science Bros, Snake Eyes, Second Wind, Warp World, and World at War. So in my opinion, these are the easiest ones to deal with. The power dynamics, because you lose your own buffs, I don't find it to be a good pack to use. And then the Experimental Serum 2, it's just unnecessary. Now, I strongly believe that if you have good efficiency, you might be able to complete all of these without Experimental Serum 3. But if you want to play safe, you want to make sure that you're going to get those 1,500,000 points, then you should try to use the Experimental Serum 3. So that's going to be it. We are going to try to use as much as possible the newest characters and the characters that are the most important to invest, whether you are a new player or a veteran player and you are trying to be at the top of the meta. So that's going to be the goal for this video. And as always, if you like information on this video, make sure you share it to your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Monster Force content, and make sure you smash that like button like a boss. Okay, let's get started, and we're gonna jump between each of the nodes and see exactly what you are going to use in each of the nodes. And for the first node, I strongly recommend you to use full secret extreme. Let me remember the name of this team. So the team that you want to use for the first node, which is going to help you a lot in the other nodes, is going to be Extreme X-Men. Now, depending on how big your Extreme X-Men are, you might use other team first, or you might use Apocalypse instead of Forge or something like that. In my opinion, this is the best way to go. Is just use full Extreme X-Men. Just be careful with which enemies you are facing. So here we go. Let's attack these. And the reason why we are attacking this is because we want to make sure that Cyclops has as many charges on his ultimate as possible. And we can only use full extreme on this first node, and after that we cannot use. You could also use some different team, but I just think this is the best way to go about it. We have these taskmasters that apply blind to us, but those blinds, they do not affect Cyclops. So that should be a good way to go about it. Okay, so as you guys can see, Nightcrawler goes first. We're gonna stun this Black Cat, and after that is pretty much game over. There is no one here that can challenge us. We got a little bit unlucky because we killed one of the minions from Mr. Negative, but we are destroying anyway. Nightcrawler provides the speed bar, Forge provides the healing, the buffs, and all of that is important. Okay, so unfortunately Forge got the ability block. So what we are going to do is to just rush and slow on this rogue. We can also ability block her, but let's delete all these mofos here in the middle, and make sure that you don't turn rewind yourself even more with that minion over there. Okay, so we can, let's see, we're gonna spread those buffs. We don't have offense up, so, I mean, we can just use the ultimate of Forge and speed this up, buff our entire team, and that shouldn't be a problem. So, we are not gonna be able to use Nightcrawler on the other nodes as well, so we are just going to use the ultimate, apply slow to everyone. And now you just want to basics and see if Cyclops has as many charges as possible. And yes, so there we go. This is how you should do the first node. Okay, as you guys can see, we got over 2,000 points. And if you do 10 nodes, that's going to give you the 20,000 points that you need to complete the 1.5 million mark without using additional packs on this trial. Now we're going to do the second node, and for the second node we are going to use Rebirth. You might want to switch the isolate around a little bit. Use Captain America and Captain Carter as skirmishers, or you can use Captain Carter as strikers. The damage from Wakanda is very high, and using healer isolate is not going to help you out. So the best thing you can do is using skirmishers or to remove their buffs, or strikers in order to increase your damage output on your team. Of course, it's going to be very important that you delete the Bashenga, the Black Panther 1 million, and the Nakias as fast as possible, so keep that in mind. So we are going to, let's ability block this Nakia, and see if you are lucky also to ability block the Bashenga. We can, so we are going to heal up and apply vulnerability to him. Offense down, that's great, and now we're going to try to delete him before he deletes us. Let's use the ultimate over here just to do some damage. You can see like they do a lot of damage to us, but they don't have a lot of health, and that's how you can win, is just by taking advantage of that. Okay, so since we have a lot of negative effects on that Nakia, we're gonna use her in order to speed up our Asian Venom. This happened because he was pushed below 50% health. It's one of the packs that we are using, so you might not be able to do always this, so you might have to reset a few times just to get the same amount of RNG. Okay, so here we go. Let's delete the Nakia. Let's do the basic with the Asian Venom. The Rebirth team, unfortunately, is on the way out, so this is not something that I would recommend for you to do unless you really care about these trials and you want to get your Green Goblin as big as possible. Is Green Goblin a character that deserves it? Probably yes. He's a very powerful character in Alliance Wars and Cosmic Crucible, so it's definitely something you should take into consideration. But hopefully in the future, Scopely will change these, so we can also use Hive Mind or something else like that in this trial, because yeah, Rebirth is definitely on the way out with the Hive Mind coming to the game. Okay, so there you go. With this Captain Marvel, you want to ability block her so she doesn't use her ultimate, otherwise she might delete one of her characters. But if you play around like this, you should be able to do it fine, because it's just managing the controls that do, managing the characters that do big burst damage to you, like Captain Marvel. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next node, and this time we are going to use city villains. Guys, there are many city villains you can take. I would strongly recommend Vulture. He's very powerful right now. You can use the Sinister Six, you can use the Superior Six, so I'm not really sure what to use to help you out. The symbiotes right now, they are a very powerful team, so you have two of them you can use. Then you have Black Cat, but I would like to try to avoid like too many legendaries. So let's use Dr. Octopus, that most people should have, and maybe Kraven the Hunter. So let's use Kraven just to make sure that we have 2 Superior Six, 1 Sinister Six, and 2 symbiotes. So this is really depends on what you have available, but each of these teams should be able to destroy this node. So we're gonna start off like this. How much should you invest on the Sinister Six? As much as possible. How much should you invest on the symbiotes? At least for now, you should invest the bare minimum, because it's just the way the game works, right? You want to invest the bare minimum on the right teams, unless at some point we have the confirmation that these raid teams have value elsewhere. So you can see that Vulture and the symbiotes are just destroying, so Kraven is just providing some additional aid. Other character that could help you out here and make this even easier would be Spider Slayer or Shocker, because they increase the damage of the Sinister Six characters, so that would help you out as well. So I'm gonna save this ability block with Kraven. We are gonna move on and use the other abilities, because we need that ability block for the second node of the villain city, and we're just gonna keep going like this. So now I'm gonna use the special of Carnage. We're gonna push those Spider-Verse characters below 50. We need to get some speed bar now on not only on the symbiotes, but also on the Vulture. Damn names. The names today are hard. And this is because we have Spider Weaver coming up soon, and we want to delete this Spider Weaver as fast as possible. Here we have Spider-Man with the dodges, so there is some RNG that we have to be careful with. Venom now with his basic, and now here we go. So you have to be careful with the Black Cat and also with the Spider Weaver. So you could ability block them with the Venom special. And here, let's see if you can apply that slow to the Black Cat. We can't. So we're gonna try to leave her for last. Let's see, can we flip those? Okay, we flip the death proofs. That's gonna be a lot easier. And here we are still gonna use the basic of Craven. Like I said, we want to use that for the last node of the city villains. Here we are going to use the ultimate with this guy. It should be fine. That pushes the symbiotes. That pushes also the vulture with the basic. Nice. And now we're gonna delete this girl over here. We're gonna leave the Black Cat for last. This flipped all the buffs on her because we pushed one of them below 50. So this is something that you have to use, is the packs on the trials to your advantage, right? Otherwise you're not gonna have these advantages. Okay, so there we go. And now you're just gonna basic on Black Cat and it's game over. Okay, so that was city villains. Now we should have the global blasters. And for global blasters, we're gonna make it as easy as possible. Once again, trying to use as many characters as possible that are still meta, right? We don't want to use characters from last year. So this goal is going to be to use Archangel. Yes, always going to use Archangel. We're going to use Cyclops. We're going to use Sunspot. We are still want to charge up these Mofos, and you want to use Ultron. So these are all characters with value in Alliance Wars, in Cosmic Crucible, and also in Raid. So there we go. Ultron is also a mythical character, and that could bring you some value in Dark Dimension 7. Which is the place where you're going to require mythical characters. Okay, so we are going to use the Archangel special on the Corvus Glaive to steal the offense up and to turn rewind the enemies, plus flipping their positive effects into negative effects. So let's see if we have enough speed bar in order to attack the enemies. Now they have a bunch of evades. The other girl over there got deleted. And now we should ability block Cersei. And I think she's going to stay ability blocked, because we don't have Archangel, or not Archangel, we don't have the Icarus. Okay, so we're going to do we can do the special here, apply some buffs to our team. We're gonna still push them below 50. Now we can summon the bots. Do we need to summon the bots? I'm not sure if we need to summon the bots here. So let's summon the bots anyway. So we have a lot of healing. It's not gonna be a big deal. With Gambit now we're going to give speed up for everyone. Great. And now we have the bots from Ultron. Ultron has a lot of buffs, so hopefully we can keep those buffs on him. Okay, here we go. I'm going to target on the Corvus Glaive because we want to delete someone, so he keeps the buffs around. Great. And now with Archangel we are going to use just the basic, and that should be enough to flip the buffs on the Silver Surfer. We're gonna use another basic here. There we go. And now Thanos is gone. So once again, in my opinion, I think this is the best team you can use, and that's gonna provide the most amount of value. Archangel is on the way out. At least that seed is on the way out. But in the future, people are still going to use Archangel with Magneto and maybe some other characters in order to have advantage on the different events that we have going on. Okay, so now we have Pegasus. You can still use other tech characters, but if you want to keep it as easy as possible, Pegasus is the way to go. It's a raid team, so if you are a new player or a veteran player, it's a team that you have to use. And this team has a lot of value, really a lot of value. It's getting a lot of work done in Cosmic Crucible, in Alliance Wars, the full team or just half of the team. So one way or another, you are definitely going to get value of these characters. As you guys can see, my team has only investment on the Iron Man and on Kestrel, but other players rather invest on the full team, and that's fine. Like, there is no wrong answer there, because once again, the team is very, very good, and you're going to keep getting value on them. Okay, so Kestrel with another special, so we do specials back to back. Here you want to delete the long shot as fast as possible, but yeah, we are just deleting these. Tony Stark with his basic, he can apply his own vulnerability. So if you have him as a striker, he's going to do a lot of damage to the enemy. So my team did it very well because I have the team very big. But even if you don't have it as big, I think it's still going to be the best option based on the current options we have available on the meta. Okay, so now we have 5 new Avengers. Should you invest on new Avengers? The answer is yes. Some of these characters provide a lot of value in Cosmic Crucible, other ones provide a lot of value in Alliance Wars, or most of them provide value in Alliance Wars, so this is definitely a team that you want to invest in. In terms of the ISO 8, if your team is not as big as mine, you want to switch around the ISO 8, you want to make sure that Tigre is a skirmisher, and you want your Coulson and your Ronin as strikers, and this is because on their basic, they turn in the enemies, which makes this node quite easy. So if you cannot brute force your way through this node, you can still defeat the node by using strategy, returning winding the enemies to oblivion with Ronin and with Coulson. Okay, so with the Tigre, I'm gonna use the basic on these 2 yellow jackets. Okay, so if the other guys die, it's fine too. And now with the thing, we are going to stun one of the Spider-Mans, and we're going to try to beat the other one. This guy now is going to flip our positive effects. He does a lot of damage, and this is why we need a strategy in order to do this. But with this guy over here, she can flip those negative effects into positive effects, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so here we go. Now with these Spider-Mans, you really want to kill them as fast as possible. You want to really tunnel in one of them, and then also try to defeat the other one, of course. Okay, so you have to be careful with your minions, because the minions will also trigger the effects from the trials, right? So if the minions go below 50, they will also flip your buff, so be very careful with that. Okay, so the priority is to delete that big time, so we're going to attack him first. He got deleted, and now we're going to attack these swarms. Shouldn't be a big deal. You can use the basic of Coulson to turn rewind multiple characters. He attacks up to 3 targets, so that's going to be 3 targets that are turn rewinded by 30% or so, 20%. And now with Ronin, we're going to use his special. Depending on how big your Ronin is, he's going to be able to delete more or less people. And this swarm can be a little bit problematic because how fast they are, and because they flip negative effects into positive effects. So let's attack him and finish this off. So there we go. In my first run, I did this with a 1.1 million team or something, 1.2 million team. And this time we are doing with 1.6. And yeah, in the past we had to use strategy. Now we can use pretty much brute force in order to beat this. Okay, so city villains, here we are once again. We're going to use the same team that we were using before. Or we could use Black Cat over here. So Black Cat would be a good option. But like I was saying, I'm not sure if everyone has Black Cat unlocked. We had a few trials for her, but not enough. So we're going to go like this. And the goal is to just survive. So if you don't survive right away, reset another few times just to see if you can make it happen or not. Because the goal is really to stop the Morgan Le Fay. And as soon as you start snowballing, you should be good to go. Okay, so let's apply slow to these mofos over here. Oh, I don't have negative effects. Oof, yikes, I don't have cooldowns. Okay, that's gonna cause a few problems. Let's see. Okay, so Carnage is getting slapped. Let's see if he stays alive. Venom is also getting destroyed. That's not good for sure. With the Carnage, we're going to apply those bleeds. Okay, now we're going to start speeding up this character. We have ability block for Morgan Le Fay. And this one is going to apply offense down and slow. So we need to apply slow to Morgan Le Fay, but we're going to save that special for when Apocalypse shows up. Now we're going to summon the Shocker. Because we have 2 Superior 6 characters, the Shocker is going to be able to turn rewind the enemies by 60%, and that's extremely useful. Here on Morgan Le Fay, you want to ability block her. You really don't want her to do her special. And at this point, you just want to make sure that you get some speed bar on your symbiotes. So you want to delete the enemies as fast as possible. Vulture as a striker, deleting other strange, and that's gonna make your symbiotes and your Vulture go faster. Like Vulture and symbiotes is a great combo. Okay, Strange with his ultimate, because we have a bunch of regens, we should be able to heal up. There we go. Now with Dr. Octopus, you can apply slow even if the character has evade with her basic, so with his basic. So we flip that, and now you just have to control what we are doing. Let's apply vulnerability to this Nemesis. Great, the second wave of enemies shows up. We're gonna spread this slow to everyone else. Great, and now Vulture is going to do his ultimate, and is going to delete everyone, I hope. If he's big enough, he should be able to delete. Now, if your Vulture is not as big, and you should definitely invest on your Vulture, he's one of the best characters in the game. Even if you cannot delete all of them at once, you are still gonna be fine, because you're gonna push them below 30, and you are still gonna pull the enemies down. Okay, let's see if you can just delete the Apocalypse, or if we have to use the abilities from Craven. We saved that special ability from Craven, but it might not even be necessary, so let's see. So he has immunity, so we are not going to be able to apply it, but maybe we can do enough damage to him to the point where, okay, never mind. We were able to do enough damage to him where it snowballs, and that triggers the passive of the symbiotes, and then the symbiotes will give extra speed for Vulture as well. So here we are done with the city villain nodes, using mostly meta characters. Now, once again, you're gonna go back to Global Blasters. This second node of Global Blasters might have a little bit of RNG, but we're gonna see if that's not the case. So once again, we are going to use the same team, only meta characters, mythical characters for Dark Dimension 7, raid characters, Alliance War characters, and Cosmic Crucible characters. All of these characters are super meta, no bad investment over here. And now we have all that damage from Cyclops, and we also have the other things going on, right? Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna push this guy below the marker, below the 50. Moonstone doing some big damage to us, but that's fine. Now we're going to use the ultimate of Sunspot. We are going to target all these mofos. They absolutely destroyed everyone, and now Archangel is gonna push them down. This is gonna summon the last wave. There we go, nice. And now you want to delete that Kang, very nice as well. And Archangel should push them down, and there we go. So as you guys can see, if you charge up on the first node, if you use this team also on the second node, your Cyclops should have enough charges to delete Kang right away, and that's going to give you a nice amount of points. You guys can see that once again we are at 2000 plus efficiency, and that's going to give you the 1.5 million points without using extra packs. Okay, so once again, you're going to use the Pegasus team, 1.7 million, heavy investment on Kestrel and on Tony Stark, mid investment on the other three, and mid investment is usually gear tier 15. These characters, I think they got farmable last week, so it's a great time for you to get them going. Okay, so we're going to focus on those She-Hulks. They are usually the most problematic ones. We're gonna flip these buffs on Braun if you can. No, we can't, unfortunately. We're gonna get offense up on everyone with rescue. And now with this guy, I think we can use his special after for defense down. So we're just gonna keep it like this, because you don't want to go too fast. If you go too fast, you're gonna get like 2 Red Hulks at the same time, and you honestly don't want that. Okay, so I'm gonna try to one-shot this first Red Hulk with the ultimate of Kestrel. With this girl, we are going to just use her special to apply defense down to a bunch of people, and then Kestrel should do her magic. If you cannot apply defense down to everyone, you can still use the basic of rescue. Let's apply ability block to V-Vision, so she doesn't flip the positive effects into negative effects. We do that with the special of Tony Stark. And now you should be fully buffed and ready to delete all these Hulks. So we have Hulkbuster, we have Red Hulk, we have OG Hulk. We're going to try to delete all of them. Of course, Castle doing most of the work. We're going to use the stun here of Ironheart, even that it doesn't do much. Now we're going to get offense up on the entire team once again. And we cannot still do that. Okay, let's turn rewind him if we can. Okay, no we can't, with just big damage. and now Tony Stark with his ultimate is going to delete it. Yeah, with offense up, there is no way that Red Hulk can survive. Okay, so that was the last tech node. And now we have the node number 10, right? It's already node number 10. This is going way too fast. What time it is? So 25 minutes on the clock. Let's finish this. And for the last node, you want to use full new Avengers. Once again, if your team is 1.2 million or something like that, you want to use your Tigre as a skirmisher, and you want to use the turning wind of Coulson and of Ronin on their basic. The Rebirth team here, they don't help much. They really have no chance against the enemies we are facing, because the enemies we are facing are heroes for hire and they have war buffs, so they are very, very tough to deal with. The first move you should do is the ultimate of Tigre. You should apply defense down to all these characters, or damage, trauma. And you can see that my team is so big that they get deleted right away. And this is a little bit annoying, because you can actually cause problems to yourself when your team is so powerful. Okay, so we're going to attack that Colin Wing to remove our charges. And I think Shang-Chi is going to die with all those bleeds. Let's find out. If you delete one character right away with the charges, when they revive, they are going to be blinded, so that can help you as well if you want to rush for one specific character. Okay, so now we're going to use the Coulson special to clear all those positive effects away from the enemies. We're gonna still try to delete their charges. I'm not exactly sure. Oh yeah, it was the thing that got below the 50s. So now we are going to rush on this Kate Bishop in the corner. We're gonna push her below the 50% mark, and now all of our evades are gonna be flipped into bleeds, so that's gonna help us quite a lot as well. Let's see if the thing is going to be flipped again. Okay, so far so good. So once again, let's try to delete the Colin Wing. She's gonna revive, but she's gonna revive with blind. That's because of the Ronin passive, which is great. When you attack with the minions, great. We need to heal up that thing. Otherwise, it might cause us some problems. Now we're gonna start attacking the Shang-Chi. We're gonna turn rewind the Shang-Chi with the Coulson basic, because his striker is gonna turn rewind for 40%. Stun on Shang-Chi. He's gonna get a trauma, so he's not gonna lose that stun. And now we can just delete the Echo, and we should be good to go. Okay, so Colin Wing attacking. Oof, that was a big problem for sure. I did too much damage to her, right? Too much damage to her, and we are now on a dangerous situation. But we're gonna flip those negative effects into positive effects by pushing them below 50 as well. Okay, she dies once again, so she's gonna get that blind again. Great. And now we're gonna flip the remaining negative effects with the ultimate of Mockingbird. Mockingbird is okay character, but I'm not really sure if she's worth a big investment, because she's the healer, and yeah, unfortunately, she does not bring a lot of benefits to your team. Okay, so here we go. We are almost done here. Let's do the special with those minions. Push them below the 50 mark, and now Tigre should be able to delete both of them. And there you go, guys. So Green Goblin Trials. All of these characters were made farmable recently. We had recent events for the Extreme X-Men. Even if you don't have your characters as big as mine when it comes to yellow stars and red stars, we are still going to be able to do this properly, because it's just a combination of characters that is going to allow you to progress. So you can see 1.5 million points. This is what you need for the milestones if you have your character already at 70 all stars. And if you don't have your character at 70 all stars, you need 1.350 to complete all the milestones as well. Going beyond difficulty 8 and difficulty 9 or difficulty 10 is just way too much of an investment. I know it's possible. I know that you could try to get some amazing score with that. As you guys can see, a lot of people have done it, but it's just not worth the investment. It's better to get a 5 or a 6 yellow stars Green Goblin, or even a 4. It's better to do that with minimal investment than over investing on your characters and then not getting the value that they can really bring you to the table. So this is what this is the teams you should bring it to the Green Goblin trials. These are the strategies that you should follow, which characters to attack, which abilities to use in order to be as successful as possible. So that's going to be the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to smash that like button, and if you found the video helpful, make sure to share it to your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Mouse Triforce content, and I'll catch you guys later.